You could win 90% of the play, and if the last 10% of the play, the wide receiver catches the ball, you didn't do your job. If you don't get to the quarterback, you might have a great pass rush move, but you don't finish on the quarterback, it doesn't matter. If you cover somebody perfectly or fit a gap perfectly, but you don't make the tackle or get the ball out, it doesn't matter. So the key to us is we're finishing 100% of the play. And even if we're behind in the first 80%, how we finish that play can really be a key to success.
One of the most important things for Dan Lanning is finishing. Sometimes he says it's important to finish twice. You just heard him a second ago. Dan Lanning just got a contract extension at Georgia. He's well over $1 million now a year, and he has really earned that money. Georgia finishing last season as one of probably the top defense in the country, best scoring defense, best against the run. They didn't win total defense, but that's one indicator. And certainly you'd rather have the lowest points allowed per game, which Georgia did accomplish. And the thing that Dan has focused on coming into 2020, a season that's been derailed for sure in many different ways, but is still on for September 26th, is finishing. And he says not just once, but twice. Here's what Dan had to say earlier this week. The biggest thing I think we've emphasized so far this offseason is the finish. We've talked about havoc plays on here a lot in the past, and that's still definitely a big focus for us, but we want to get the ball out. We want to finish. We want to impact the game by having some game-changing plays that we create, and our players have really embraced that so far. I'm trying to think of, for Georgia in 2019, they really had to fight. This wasn't like an easy regular season like 2017 and 18 was in so many different ways. I mean, this program's only lost 3 games in the last three regular seasons. And for Dan Lanning's bunch, really more than anything, they made the plays happen against Auburn. That is the game-changing play that I remember specifically from 2019. Against Notre Dame, they were out there on 4th down. In both of those situations, against Auburn and Notre Dame, that's another thing that Dan was talking about. Hey, our guys want to be out there on 4th down. Well, he's got a group of it's more than 11 guys, that's for sure. But he's got some real killers on this team. This defense has guys like Nolan Smith, Trayvon Walker, Richard LeCount. Now they're different, but because they play different positions, but they're older and younger. It's all over the board for these guys. But I think what Lanning has been talking about coming into 2020 is what you could see from Richard LeCount last year. At the beginning of the year, they were really good. But by the end of the year, you look at Richard making plays against Texas A&M, game-changing plays. The fumble that was not for a touchdown, but that changed and gave Georgia 3 points, okay? The Sugar Bowl, Richard had multiple turnovers in that game. That changed that game. For a team that didn't allow more than 20 points except once last year, and that was against LSU, which was arguably the best college football team of all time, that really is saying something. These guys are the reason why Georgia is ranked in the top 5. They're the reason why, if they win the national championship, it's going to be because of the defense. Now, I think the offense is going to be better. I think you will see it. It will be noticeably better. But it's not going to be better than this defense, because this defense is getting close to the tipping point of changing what matters in the SEC. For years now, for these last probably half decade, from 2015 on, this league has been won with offense. But if Dan Lanning has his way, and you know how Kirby Smart is, okay? If they get their way, the league is going to be won because the defense makes the plays. There have been some defenses recently, Georgia last year, Auburn last year, 2011-12, Alabama. Those defenses were legit. Florida last year certainly wasn't bad. These were defenses that really could dictate to you how you were going to play. For Georgia, with Lanning and Kirby, It's hard to say this is Kirby's defense. I mean, I can say it with a straight face. This is Kirby Smart's defense. But that really undercuts what Dan Lanning has done over time. And by the way, we talk about this all the time on Dog Post. You should be on Dog Post. I'm going to hit you with a link. It comes up over here. But make sure you check out Dog Post today. The thing about what Dan and Kirby and all of them, they have realized that the offense has to score more. I mean, they probably realized that the entire time. But they're not willing to give up their golden goose, which is this defense. It is legit. It is scary. Probably Joe Burrow had as hard a time against Georgia's defense as they did anyone, with the exception of Auburn last year. And they still scored that much. That shows you how good LSU is. But when I look around college football, particularly with Ohio State not playing, I don't see a lot of teams that have best college football team ever written all over them. Clemson's going to score points, okay? No question. Alabama's going to score points. But are they generational teams? It doesn't seem like it. So this Georgia defense has a tremendous opportunity coming into this season. You sort of get to warm up against Arkansas. I don't know if you get a warm up against Auburn, but that's not an offense that you had a lot of issues with that last year. And they've lost some guys on that offense too that would have helped them coming in, the offensive line, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that you kind of set your sights on that game in Tuscaloosa, a team against Alabama that is still very good offensively and should be better on defense. But they're not what they were under Tua. And really maybe not what they were under Jalen Hurts in that time where they were really scoring points. The running back at Bama is really good. He's going to give Georgia the most difficulty. He's probably the best singular player Georgia will see at the skill position this year in the league, Najee Harris. So that's going to be a problem. That's going to be challenging. But, with that said, this is definitely going to be the best defense that he faces. And this is going to come down to not just that game, because if what I think is probably going to happen is going to happen, they're going to play each other twice. This defense is going to have to do its part. Sometimes that's going to involve holding teams under 17 points. It's just what it is. So Auburn, Georgia, Bama, Georgia, Florida, Georgia, those three games are all going to be pivotal. And the defense, Georgia's defense, they've done the job against Gus Malzahn and Auburn pretty much the entire time he's been there. Take out that 2017 game at Auburn. Against the Gators, Kirby's had his way against Dan Mullen. But what Dan Lanning is saying is right. They're going to have to finish. And if they don't finish, they're not going to win at all. So that's the challenge for this defense. In some cases, Dan Lanning says they're going to have to finish twice. That can happen. All right, Dean Legge from Dog Post, making you a smarter Georgia fan. I want you to click up here for the 2020 playlist that we've been updating. It's new. If you've seen it before, you want to check it out right now.